bird that we are dealing with some foot problems with. She had some sores that formed on her feet that just would not heal. You guys are pretty familiar with bird anatomy. Birds have pretty poor circulation and vascularization in their feet, so the healing process is very slow, and her feet are very sore. But the thing that we have done with her, with the help of human doctors, is she actually has orthotics under those bandages. We had some doctors that make orthotics for humans come up and take a look at her feet, and they said, well, strangely enough, these look very much like diabetic ulcers that we see on people with diabetes. And so they actually went over to the vet teaching hospital while we had this bird anesthetized. They made a mold of her foot and actually created two different, hi Carl, we'll just pop out of your way here, sorry.
Oh, you're...
Carl Hoff has been with the program for many, many years, and he is actually getting PM treatments going tonight. So this is actually her second version of the orthotic inserts that she has. And we clean the feet, take care of the wounds. We then lightly bandage them with bandage material. Then we place the orthotic on top of it, and then we vet wrap over the top of that, and then place tape all over that. She has her foot bandages changed on a weekly basis so that we can monitor how those feet are going. If they get wet, of course, they get changed more frequently than that. So, nope, we don't. She actually tolerates it overall pretty well. Sorry, I keep standing in your picture frame. We take her off the fist and restrain her with her back to our body and holding onto her feet. We actually have a little table fan that we fan on her during warm days so she doesn't get too overheated. We can then gently extend one foot out and one foot in, and then switch when she's ready. Overall, she tolerates it pretty well. There's certain days that are better than others, but she comes to realize that it's just a process, and before long, this will get her. And she is always thrilled. She came to us in 1991 from Baggs, Wyoming, after she had been hit by a semi-tractor trailer truck. The semi broke her wing. The impact was on her right wing, and it shattered her elbow. So as you bend down, you can see her downy feathers sort of protruding through. It's because of all her covert follicles were damaged, and so those feathers don't grow back appropriately. If she could extend her wings fully, she would actually have just 1 inch shy of a 7-foot wingspan. If we let her get her optimum weight, she probably would be happy right around 12 or 13 pounds, but that's non-flighted. So because we don't want her, again, to get too heavy, we keep her weight right around 10 to 10 and a half pounds. 11 pounds usually starts to be too heavy for her, and then we see that equated to foot wounds and foot problems that we have. So that's a little bit, yeah.
I think she did.
Actually, part of the leg bone, yeah. Part of the rat leg bone over there. And normally she loves organ meat. She's a big liver and heart and lung fan. And if you cut the prairie dog off at the rib cage and turn it upside down, we call it a prairie dog cone. And they just love the insides of that. Because she came into us as a young bird, she was actually a first-year bird when she came to us. She has grown up with humans. That does mean that she is not fearful of humans, which means that she is quite a handful. When it comes to working with our educational birds, she is the last bird that anybody works with because her aggression level is very high. Even with her little nice sticks on there, she can actually still jump up off the ground and grapple with her feet. And we had a really old glove at one point in time. This current glove, the gauntlet, the outer glove, is actually made of moose hide. And we did have a glove at one point in time that was just made of cow hide. And she had punctured through giant holes in that glove. It looked like Swiss cheese. Even though she has been with us for so long, it definitely has not removed her wildness about her. I often remember when I first started working with this bird, and if she were on the ground, I would actually have to get down ready to battle with her. Because if she was on the ground, she was coming at me. And she would jump up and brandish her talons looking for all of my soft parts. is to bend down and block her down, and then when she's ready, you'll give her the command, and she'll go up and she'll perch, and she'll wait for you. You can then come in, flock very closely with her, but you always have to be closely and never give too much space, because if she sees anything, she has a wonderful thing of actually picking up the foot. If your hand is over here, she picks up this foot and comes across at you. So she's really a special girl. You really like her. She's also very vocal. When we come in the morning, she vocalizes, so she gives that kind of monkey sound. What? And so she really starts a chorus of things too. Her next door neighbor is actually our educational bald eagle. And we'll see how she does in there, but she's pretty particular about who she lets stare into her cage. She's our only bald eagle that we have, and she recently had surgery. Actually, she had a pinioning surgery of her wing, because her initial injury was gunshot wound, and it blew apart her left elbow. And then subsequently in 2004, she got West Nile virus. And we saw and have learned a lot about how the virus affects the feathers, and it actually deforms and mutates the growth of the feathers. So her primary flight feathers were having some serious difficulty growing in appropriately, safely, without breaking. We actually went and did 3 different surgeries to try and fix that before we pinioned her wing. The vet actually went in and filleted open the follicle and then ablated the inside of the germinal layer with a laser in the hopes that it wouldn't grow. Well, that didn't work. So they take a lot of the techniques that they know from avian medicine for parrots and things like that and try to translate that into wildlife. And sometimes it works and sometimes it doesn't. Many times, probably 8 times out of 10, when we submit a bird for histopaths to find out why did it die, what's wrong with it, the answers come back non-conclusive. And so it's amazing to me that in today's technology that there are still unanswerable questions for us when it comes to avian medicine. So many of you are at all thinking about not going into field research and want to go to a graduate program. If you want to look into that school, avian medicine, there's still a lot to learn there. So who else has questions?
Do you get
The vaccine for West Nile? We have only given vaccines to birds that are a high concern, such as the northern goshawk. We also gave one to a gyrfalcon at one point in time. But a lot of the evidence is showing that sometimes it works and sometimes it doesn't. And until they develop an avian vaccine, we've decided to not do that. But the tool that has helped us the most has been homeopathic medicine. We use not only Western medicine, but also Eastern medicine. We've done acupuncture on some of our birds before that has proven to be very helpful. But homeopathy has been the one tool that has made us more successful in dealing with West Nile virus than any other tool in our toolbox, for sure. You had a question, too. Just handlers, because handlers, difference and things like that, and ability to have distance. So we don't really use the field jesses, the shorter jesses as if you would fly a bird. The longer the jess we have means the better opportunity for a handler to have more to hold on to and better control over the bird. I would actually be pretty nervous having short field jesses on her, just simply because of her ability to pick up and cross over that way. If I can get a long strip through and then I'm dealing with the swivel down here as opposed to right here, that makes me feel a lot better with her. And so our jesses are definitely longer than what you would see falconers use on every bird. So.
Heard of any in Brazil hawks getting this overgrowth?
We have heard of it, and we've seen it from California. They've been showing a lot of pictures through all the different networks that we work with, but we have not seen any birds here with that strange disease that's going on out there. That is the weirdest overgrowth I've ever seen. I am actually in charge of coping all of the birds. We use a Dremel tool to file and hone their talons and beaks, and that would be one that I just wouldn't even know where to begin. Slowly and bring it back, I guess, you know. But it's the strangest overgrowth I've ever seen in birds like that. Really? Wow. Very, very interesting, and I hope that we don't get it here, but it's only a matter of time. You know, it was only 99 was when West Nile came into the state. It made it to Colorado in 03 and 04. They say that avian influenza is going to come from the west coast and move east. So we'll wait and see, and hopefully we'll be able to contribute to the knowledge that we have with West Nile too. We did studies with the CDC, we did studies with the university, and we also did a study with a school out in California too. I can't remember who it was, but we plucked feathers and sent blood samples for them to do their studies out there too. So we definitely are trying to participate in the research going on as well. So, anybody else? Well, why don't we move inside, and that way